Momonga's Red Orb. Momonga's Red Orb is the tentative name for one of Ainz Ongon's prized world items. In the web novel, back when a bunch of Idrisil players dared to raid the Great Tomb of Nazarick, Ainz noted that half of those invaders ended up dead because of this orb alone. That's how nasty it is in a fight. According to Maruyama, Momonga's name is permanently tied to this world item. No matter who tries to take it, the name sticks, forever marking it as his. The author even called it a top-tier secret of Momonga that only Momonga should know about. The orb itself glows a deep red, giving off a menacing aura. In the light novel, the workers from Foresight could feel its dread just by looking at it. This world item isn't just for show, it's extremely versatile, with a bunch of different powers that Ainz can pick and use as needed. One of these powers is especially effective against dragons, which is pretty handy in a world crawling with them. Only in the web novel, Ainz mentions that the orb grows stronger the longer he wields it. It's also absurdly tough. After a duel against an unknown interloper, Ainz revealed that the orb holds numerous powers and abilities, making it one of his main equipped world items, placed securely inside his belly at all times in the new world. Because of where it's positioned, a lot of characters, from Robert Dyke during Foresight's final battle to Climb during Volume 14, have assumed the orb is Ainz's weak point and have tried to destroy it, only to fail every single time. Robert Dyke once tried to smash it with his fists, thinking it was Ainz's weakness, but the orb didn't even flinch. The recoil was so intense that Robert Dyke's gauntlet broke apart on impact. A similar scene played out during the fall of the Reistai's kingdom when Climb, during his last stand, targeted the orb with Razor Edge, hoping to break what he believed was Ainz's weak spot. The blade couldn't even scratch it. It's unbreakable, unmovable, and unmistakably Momonga's, making it a perfect symbol of the Overlord who wields it. In the web novel, Ainz's use of this world item could cost him enough experience points to lose 5 levels, showing that even this power comes with a steep price. Downfall of Castle and Country. Downfall of Castle and Country is a mind-controlling world item with a long bloody history. It once belonged to the legendary 6 great gods of the slain theocracy, and after they were gone, the artifact stayed in the hands of the country's top officials, passed down to new users over generations. Eventually, it ended up with Kaire, who held on to it for missions. The Black Scripture originally planned to use this world item to control the Catastrophe Dragon Lord, a terrifying threat they were tasked with handling. But plans changed when they ran into Shalltear Bloodfallen, who they saw as too dangerous to leave alone. The world item's magic kicked in during their attempt to control Shalltear, and it partially worked, but it came at a heavy cost. Kaire was severely injured when Shalltear struck back while under the item's influence, leaving the mind control incomplete. Later, one of the 6 cardinals confirmed that Kaire died from the cursed wound she received during that fight. It is unknown who holds the world item now, or if it has found a new successor after Kaire's death. This world item takes the form of a silvery white qipao, a fitted one-piece Chinese dress embroidered with a golden 5-clawed dragon soaring into the skies. In this dress form, the world item lets the user control the mind of any creature, including those with racial immunity to mind control. It can even bypass the undead's usual resistance to such effects. While the artifact is impressive, the 6 cardinals are aware of its limitations. It can only control one target at a time, and although the control remains even if the user is knocked out or killed, the target is left frozen in place and will attack anyone who gets too close, as seen with Shalltear. Breaking this mind control is not easy. The only reliable methods are to kill and resurrect the controlled target, or to use another world item to counter it, which is particularly tough if the target is stronger than the rescuers. This makes the downfall of Castle and Country a serious threat, even for powerful groups like the Great Tomb of Nazarick. The 6 cardinals noted that the item doesn't work on the Platinum Dragon Lord, who uses wild magic, showing that it does have some limitations against certain higher tier beings. Like other world items designed to instantly kill or incapacitate, it has no effect on the world enemies. Even with these limitations, Downfall of Castle and Country remains one of the deadliest mind-controlling tools in the New World, holding the power to turn even the strongest warriors into immobile weapons until someone strong enough dares to break the curse.
Gamer Supps is an energy and nootropic formula designed to be a healthier, cheaper, and more effective beverage over energy drinks for gamers or the modern anime weeb on the go. Its blend of essential vitamins, caffeine, and nootropics provide a consistent boost with no jitters and no crash. It has 0 sugar, less than 1 carb, and less than 1 calorie per serving, so it's keto and diabetic safe. Plus, there's sugar-free options. I personally drink it all the time to be able to grind out these straight to the point and informative videos for you guys, and they'll likely be the only sponsor you'll ever see on this channel. So help the channel stay mostly sponsor-free by clicking the link in our description, picking from the many tasty and uniquely named flavors on the website, and use our code ANIMEX at checkout to save 10% on your order. It would be a huge help for us. Also, pick yourself up a aesthetically interesting waifu cup while you're at it too. They're collectible. But anyway.
Avarice and Generosity. Avarice and Generosity is one of the world items owned by the guild Ainz, collected back in the guild's golden days. It stays locked away in Nazaric's treasury until the Bloody Valkyrie incident, when the guild decided it was time to arm the floor guardians with world items to protect them against other world item users. This world item comes as a pair of gauntlets that couldn't look more different from each other. The left gauntlet, Avarice, looks like it was ripped from a demon's hand. Made of black metal covered in twisted thorns with sharp-pointed fingertips, it carries a dirty glow that almost looks like it's oozing something foul. Just looking at it is enough to send fear deep into anyone's soul. The right gauntlet, Generosity, is the complete opposite. It looks like the pure, elegant hand of a maiden, white in color, with slender fingers covered in gold embroidery that make it look even more beautiful. It easily draws people's eyes, giving them the feeling that they might lose themselves just by looking at it. Avarice and Generosity has the power to absorb and store experience points. It collects them from defeated enemies and holds onto them until the user is ready to use them later. In the web novel, whenever the world item is activated and a soul is taken, a small blue light appears and is absorbed into Avarice. Generosity then allows the user to pull those stored experience points from Avarice and use them for experience-consuming abilities and spells. The blue lights are just for show, signaling the collection of EXP. Since Ainz is already level 100 with a surplus EXP bar maxed out, any extra EXP would simply vanish when he gained it, making the storage feature useful for other purposes instead. At one point, while thinking about how to manage the Sorcerer Kingdom, Ainz even considered using humans as a renewable source for experience points, letting them breed and then harvesting them to fill up Avarice and Generosity with EXP. In Volume 9 of the light novel, Mari wore these gauntlets during the massacre at Kotsi Plains, while escorting Ainz to the Imperial Castrum. In the web novel, Ainz himself uses Avarice and Generosity during the same massacre to collect experience points from the fallen soldiers on the battlefield. Avarice and Generosity stand as one of the practical, yet terrifying world items under Ainz Ongon's control, turning death on the battlefield into power that can be stored and used whenever needed, securing Nazarek's strength against anyone who dares to challenge it. Throne of Kings. Throne of Kings is a world item owned by Ainz Ongon Guild. The guild earned this world item as a trophy after clearing and conquering the Great Tomb of Nazareth, a level 80 plus dungeon in a single attempt. To this day, it remains a core part of the guild's identity and an important feature of the dungeon itself. In the New World, Ainz often sits on the Throne of Kings during meetings with the Floor Guardians. This throne is made from a single mass of obsidian and is massive in size, with its back reaching all the way up to the ceiling of the throne room where it stands. This throne is located on the 10th floor of the Great Tomb of Nazareth. When someone sits on the Throne of Kings, a buff appears on their status screen. This buff allows the user to see the statistics of all allies inside Nazareth, whether they are alive or under the influence of an unknown effect. Ainz has used the throne to monitor and oversee events within Nazareth, such as when invaders entered the tomb, including the workers who infiltrated different areas and floors. Aside from monitoring, the Throne of Kings plays a defensive role in protecting Nazareth. It activates countermeasures against enemy divination magic, adding another layer to the tomb's defense system. This system has several protective layers, making Nazareth an incredibly difficult fortress to breach from the outside. The Throne of Kings is more than just a symbol of victory for Ainz Ongon. It's a tool that keeps Nazareth secure, allowing Ainz to watch over his domain and protect it from threats while reinforcing the tomb's status as an unbreakable stronghold. Ginnungagap. Ginnungagap is a world item currently in Albedo's hands. She got it from Tabula Smaragdina, who handed it over without checking in with the rest of the guild. Ainz found out about it right before Idrisil shut down, but with everything else going on, he decided to let it slide. The item looks like a wand, around 45 centimeters long, with a black sphere hovering above its tip. Ginnungagap packs serious destructive power, capable of wiping out huge areas with ease. It's the strongest world item when it comes to breaking physical objects, though it's not exactly great for taking down a single target in a duel. One of its unique features is its ability to change forms, and while it isn't as powerful as specialized divine class gear and raw output, Ginnungagap has a major advantage. It can't be destroyed or damaged, no matter what hits it. Albedo actually uses Ginnungagap's transformed version as her main weapon, making it a core part of her loadout. While she has plenty of gear fitting her status as the Guardian Overseer, this world item gives her an extra layer of unstoppable force in battle, ensuring she can wreck large-scale threats without worrying about her weapon breaking mid-fight. Caloric Stone. Caloric Stone is a world item that used to be in the hands of Ainz before they turned it into something even more powerful. This stone is one of the hidden world items in Yggdrasil, and getting it isn't as easy as finding it in a dungeon or beating up a raid boss. It requires gathering and piling up an insane amount of specific prismatic ores in one spot, which triggered the stone to spawn while eating up all the ores used. The Ainz guild ended up getting a caloric stone by accident. They had been stockpiling a ridiculous variety of prismatic ores, including a newly discovered one called celestial uranium, which turned out to be a key ingredient for making a caloric stone. When they finally realized what they had done, they cracked the secret recipe for farming caloric stones using these ores. However, the process wasn't cheap. It needed massive quantities of these ores, draining the 7 hidden mines dry if they wanted to keep producing caloric stones. Finito Mo, the guild strategist, known as Bell River in the web novel, came up with a plan. They would leak the secret to top guilds like the Second Channel Alliance and Trinity, turning them into ore-hungry rivals fighting over the mines. Then Ainz would step in and snatch the prize at the perfect moment, getting more caloric stones while others wore themselves out. The caloric stone itself is a unique crafting material with plenty of uses. It can be turned into a golem's core, weapons, or armor by letting the holder request a specific material from the game developers. This request system was similar to other high-tier world items like Ouroboros and 5 Elements Overcoming, but caloric stone had much narrower scope compared to those two, which were among the 20 strongest world items in the game. Ainz used their caloric stone after learning they could obtain another the same way, treating it as a valuable but expendable resource. Ainz himself believed they managed to get the caloric stone purely out of luck. Even though it's a consumable world item that can only be used once, the caloric stone isn't considered part of the 20. It's still a high-value world item with powerful crafting potential that gave Ainz another edge in their rise to the top of Yggdrasil's guild wars. Depiction of Nature and Society. Depiction of Nature and Society is a world item owned by Ainz one of the treasures they secured during their golden era. It originally belonged to a rival guild, but they lost it when they used it carelessly while trying to escape from Ainz which led to the item's ownership switching over. The plan was to keep it safely stored in the treasury, but after the Bloody Valkyrie incident, Ainz decided to equip the Floor Guardians with world items for protection against hostile world item users in the New World. This item looks like a large red oriental scroll hanging from the user's waist, and its power lies in isolating space itself. It can swallow up entire spaces, sealing the target into a closed-off area by swapping the real world with a painted landscape, turning reality into a painting that's almost identical to the real world but remains an illusion. The target area follows the same definition as the super-tiered spell Change the World, meaning nothing inside, whether animate or inanimate, can resist its effects. The user can choose from 100 different other worlds to overlay until reality, each carrying different environmental effects. Among these are molten lava lands that deal constant fire damage, icy landscapes for ice damage, thunderplains with regular lightning strikes, heavy monsoon zones with near-zero visibility, and mist-covered areas. There are also options to overlay battlefields where reinforcements arrive over time to pressure the enemy, though these troops are only around 60% as strong as the enemy and mainly serve to drain resources. For direct combat needs, the user can call in an equal number of units, each with 80% of the user's power to face the opponent effectively. The most dangerous part of this world item isn't just trapping targets in another world, but the ability to apply chosen effects within the captured space, like dealing damage to enemies while sparing allies, even in areas of molten lava. If specific worlds aren't chosen during activation, one of the 40 random escape routes will appear, and if the enemy manages to escape through it, they can claim ownership of the world item, making it easier to obtain compared to many other world items, despite the difficulty of using these escape routes. Depiction of the Nature and Society became the first world item from Ainz to be used in the New World, with Aura activating it against the Quagoa tribes in the Azur Lucia mountain range. Ainz noted that if Aura used this world item on him while he was without his own world items, he would be trapped inside, preventing him from being easily kidnapped, even if he was under mind control or brainwashed by another world item user, ensuring an additional layer of security against forced teleportation or abduction attempts. Nameless Book of Spells. Nameless Book of Spells is a powerful world item grimoire that traces back to the era of the 8 Greed Kings, rulers of the New World who held countless artifacts of overwhelming power. Among all their magical treasures, the Nameless Book of Spells stood at the top, worth a fortune that could buy an entire country. The grimoire is heavily protected by magic, ensuring that no one except its rightful owner can even touch it. It looks like a thick book filled with countless pages, and according to Evil Eye, only a handful in the New World truly understand how much power this grimoire holds. Through unknown means, it is said that every magic spell in the New World gets recorded in its pages, and even newly created spells may automatically appear within the book. The exact nature of the spells it contains is unclear, but its existence alone hints at the possibility of legendary 10th tier magic. In the web novel, it is stated that the grimoire holds spells up to the 10th tier and even includes everything up to the 11th tier, which is known as super tier magic in Yggdrasil. There have been rumors that there could be more hidden within its pages, suggesting that some of these higher tier spells remain undiscovered and unrecorded. The Nameless Book of Spells stands as a testament to the 8 Greed Kings' dominance, holding an archive of magic that could change the fate of the New World in the hands of its rightful master. 5 Elements Overcoming. 5 Elements Overcoming is one of the 20 world items in Yggdrasil, a collection of 20 items so powerful that nothing else compares to them. Each of these items can only be used once, and if someone wants to use it again, they have to go through the entire process of finding it all over, no matter how challenging that might be. Whenever someone or a guild activated 5 Elements Overcoming, the developers of Yggdrasil will send out a direct message to world item holders, apologizing and explaining that although their data was supposed to remain unaffected by world changes, the system couldn't keep that promise due to the scale of the item's effect. As compensation, they would send an unknown item to those affected. 5 Elements Overcoming has the rare ability to request the developers to alter part of the game's magic system itself. Suzuki Satoru explained that while wands normally couldn't hold high-tier spells like Perfect Unknowable, using this world item would make it possible to create a wand enchanted with such a spell. To pull off a request like that, only 5 Elements Overcoming, or Ouroboros, could be used to communicate directly with the developers to change the game's system in favor of the user's request, making it one of the most unique and impactful world items in the game. Ouroboros. Ouroboros is one of the 20 world items in Yggdrasil, a ring that holds power on a level few can match. Back when Ainz Ongoing controlled the 7 hidden mines, an enemy guild used Ouroboros to block them out completely, removing Ainz Ongoing's presence from the world for a full month. By the time the effect wore off, the enemy guild had already cleared out the rare metals from the mines, leaving Ainz Ongoing with nothing but empty tunnels. As a world item, Ouroboros can contact the game developers directly to grant the holder a single wish, functioning as a stronger version of the super tier magic spell Wish Upon a Star. In one case, a guild used it to seal off an entire world, making it so that only their guild could enter while locking everyone else out for a month, with the exception of players carrying a world item who could bypass the restriction. According to the author, if permitted, Ouroboros could even be used to request and copy the abilities of other world items, expanding its already massive potential. Compared to the 5 Elements of Overcoming, which can request targeted changes to Yggdrasil's magic system, Ouroboros can ask the developers for even broader modifications to the system, making it one of the most versatile and dangerous world items ever created in the game. Longinus. Longinus is one of the 20 world items in Yggdrasil, ranking among the rarest and most dangerous artifacts in the game. During Ainz Ongoing's raid on the Great Tomb of Nazarick, one member brought up using Longinus against the Lord of Helheim, it being so strong that even the guild considered pulling out this top tier option. There's even a video clip showing Longinus in action, recorded by a player who was getting ready to retire. That clip mostly turned into a series of curses from the player once they witnessed what Longinus could actually do. This world item lets the user choose any target to completely delete or remove from existence, but it comes with a heavy price. The user also has to delete themselves, paying the same cost as the target. Once a character's data is deleted by Longinus, there is no way to bring them back unless another world item with resurrection power is used. No cash item or resurrection spell can undo what Longinus erases. If it's used on a custom NPC, it will even lower the maximum number of NPC levels a guild base can maintain, hitting the guild's resources directly. Longinus is a one-use trump card that wipes out anything the user targets, but using it means accepting total deletion in return, making it a weapon of last resort even for the strongest players in Yggdrasil. World Savior. World Savior is one of the 20 world items in Yggdrasil and stands out as one of the most powerful among them. At first, it looks unimpressive, having the strength of a regular club when it's picked up for the first time. But every time it's swung, it keeps growing stronger without any limit, gaining power with each strike until it reaches a level where the wielder could take down the Great Tomb of Nazarick at full strength, even when facing the combined might of all Ainz members together. As one of the 20, World Savior is a single-use item and disappears after being used, but its potential to become an unstoppable force before vanishing makes it one of the most dangerous weapons in the game for those who know how to use it. Ahura Mazda. Ahura Mazda is one of the 20 world items in Yggdrasil, holding a place among the most powerful artifacts in the game. The light novel only gives a brief mention of this item, so its exact form hasn't been revealed, but what's known is that it can unleash massively powerful effects, specifically on targets with a negative karma value. Its area of effect is so wide that it can cover an entire world, making it a serious threat against any large-scale evil force. The item takes its name from the creator god of Zoroastrianism, a deity known for justice and goodness, which fits the speculation that Ahura Mazda is designed as an anti-evil weapon meant to wipe out those who have walked too far down the path of darkness. 20 owned by the Guild of Ainz. Ainz Ongon's guild has 2 of the 20 world items in their collection, both safely kept in their treasury. One of these items might have the ability to clear status effects like mind control from anyone, while the exact power of the other one hasn't been revealed yet. Seeds of the World Tree. Seeds of the World Tree is a world item from Yggdrasil that players could find and add to their collection like any other world items in the game. Suzuki Satoru once thought that this item might let even undead characters change their race without any issues, making it possible for an undead player to turn back into a human using it. This was actually the first world item ever mentioned in the light novel bonus volume. Two-Worlds Mandala. Two-Worlds Mandala is a world item found in the New World and is currently with Kenofazris Invern. It used to be a national treasure, but the country that kept it safe was wiped out, and a new nation rose where it once stood. Normally, Suzuki Satoru and Kenno didn't go around taking world items from others, but since the original owners were long gone, they treated it as ownerless. To keep things fair, they left behind a bunch of items and big gems as compensation before taking it. The exact abilities of Two-Worlds Mandala haven't been revealed yet, but like other world items, it gives its holder protection against other world items and wild magic. It's also unclear if this item exists in the same spot in the main timeline. Atlas. Atlas is a world item that used to be owned by Nine's Own Goal, the group that eventually became Ainz Own Gon. Back then, they were using a rented base, and during that time, another guild managed to steal Atlas right from under them. The light novel only gives a quick mention of this item, so there's still no info on what it looks like or what it can actually do. Billion Blades. Billion Blades is a world item owned by Ainz Own Gon, picked up during the guild's golden years and stored safely in their treasury. After the Bloody Valkyrie incident, Ainz decided to equip the Floor Guardians with world items for protection against other world item users, and the Billion Blades was part of that plan. It was briefly mentioned in both the light novel and the anime, but there's still no info on what it looks like or what it can actually do. This item ended up being given to either Demiurge or Cocytus from the treasury. Hygieia's Chalice. Hygieia's Chalice is a world item owned by Ainz Own Gon, picked up during the guild's golden years along with Billion Blades. It was originally kept in the treasury, but after Ainz found out that Shao Tir's betrayal was caused by an enemy using a world item to brainwash her, he decided to arm the Floor Guardians with world items to protect them from similar threats. Hygieia's Chalice was given to either Demiurge or Cocytus for this reason. The item has been mentioned in the story, but its appearance and abilities are still unknown. Since it's a world item, it's safe to say that it's an extremely rare and valuable piece of gear. Unnamed World Items. World Item of Deep Darkness Dragonlord is a world item that ended up in the hands of the Deep Darkness Dragonlord, a few hundred years before Ainz Own Gon and Nazarick arrived in the New World. The Dragonlord got it after defeating a player who owned the item and took it for himself after the fight. No details have been shared about what this world item looks like or what it can do, but it is known to be one of the 20. World item that summons devils shows up in Volume 6, Chapter 11 of the light novel, where it summons an endless army of powerful demons that caused a lot of problems back in Yggdrasil. It's not confirmed if this item is one of the 20. A world item that turns the user into a world enemy was used by a former champion of Muspelheim, letting them transform into one of the lords of the 7 deadly sins. A world item that creates an NPC is an item that lets the player request NPC creation from the game's management without needing a guild base, which is normally required for making NPCs. This was confirmed by Moriyama on Twitter.